Very good. Okay. So good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We are broadcasting here from Maribu in Slovenia to you, dear audience. So thank you again for joining us today. My name is Michal. I am the VP of Innovation at Arieli Capital, and I will be your moderator today for this webinar. We have a very special webinar that we prepared for you today, hosting a variety of different industry leaders and figures from the Slovenian side and from the Israeli side. We'll have a couple of guest hosts as well, such as Neil Gold, the economy advisor at the Slovenian embassy. We have here to my left, Javier from Arieli Capital, partner and panel innovation. We will be having also Michal, Seror from Startup, Senior Director, Matan, Boni from EIT Hub Israel, Business Manager. To my right, we have the honor to introduce Your Excellency Andrea, the Ambassador to Israel from Slovenia. And to my left, I have Michal, representing the Slovenian Fund. So thank you all again for joining us. And without further ado,
Let's start.
Javier.
So hi everyone, my name is Seror, partner and head of global ventures and innovation in Arieli. I am very excited to be here in Slovenia. This is my second time in Slovenia, visiting our great partners as part of the great collaboration. We're very excited to launch the second cohort of our accelerators, launching and scaling Slovenian startups, connecting them to the Israeli ecosystem and to the world. I think that it's a great privilege to be here also as part of the podium conference that just finished, bringing people from all the countries from the region. So really, Slovenia is really becoming an amazing place for startups to meet and grow. And we're excited to be part of it.
Thank you so much. Without further ado, I would love Tomislav to share a little bit insights about the Slovenian Enterprise Fund, our deal partner in establishing this collaboration with the Slovenia-Israel Accelerator.
Thank you, Michael. Good morning, everyone. Thanks a lot for joining us. I'd like just to take a few minutes to present this to the Enterprise Fund. We are happy to be working with Arieli and hope to see a really successful program in the future. So what we are, first and foremost, we are a financial institution, so we are a national public financial fund for supporting SMEs, startups, and scale-ups. Here you can see a couple of our main figures. So last year we were 30 years old, so we celebrated our 30th anniversary. We offer quite a wide range of different products. Most of them are in guarantees, long guarantees. We also offer credits, special incentives like, for example, some non-refundable financing in regards to digital transformation, or investments in lower developed areas, wood industries, and similar. So basically, our programs have two categories. One are financial incentives, the second is substantive support programs. We offer other financial incentives for companies in different development phases. At the beginning, in the development early stages, we offer startups incentives, seed capital. I'm sure some of you know the PEEP programs or the SK75 or SISKs. So that means startup capital or co-investing with private investors. Or convertible loans. And for the companies that are further down in the development, we offer microloans, microcredits, long guarantees, and special incentives. The second category are the substantive support programs, where we collaborate with schools, faculties in identifying and sometimes rewarding interesting entrepreneurial ideas. We offer law firm incentives in form of vouchers, and the topic that is key for this day is the substantive support for young innovative companies. We are part of the project, substantive support for recipients of financial resources, SMEs from 2018 to 2023. This project is financed by European Union through the Regional Development Fund, coordinated through our Ministry of the Economy, Tourism and Sport. This project is coming to an end this fall, but we are already together with the ministry working hard for the next period, next projects where we hope to offer same or upgraded support to the companies. The main aim of the project is, on one hand, to combine some of our financial incentives. We have a portfolio of the companies which receive P2 support and SISK and SK support, and we provide them with substantive support in order to enable them to achieve growth. So the main activities of the project are really a comprehensive mentoring program companies in our portfolio, networking activities. For those of you who visited Boni in the last couple of days, you were able to experience the benefits of strong networking. We also organize team buildings, conferences, other events where we try to bring together really different stakeholders, so companies can get knowledge, information, funding, customers, suppliers, etc. And we also offer specialized training programs, the topics of sales, fundraising, some vertical accelerators like Web3 technologies, deep tech, hardware, etc. And the main activity which is related to the Slovenia-Israel Accelerator and the cross-border accelerators. So I'll just leave you with the last slide. To contact us, I'd like to encourage you also to subscribe to our e-newsletter, where we can update you on our latest programs, incentives. Yeah, that's it from my side. And back to you.
Thank you, Tomislav. Thank you very much. And our next speaker is Her Excellency Andrea Martinez.
Thank you very much, Michael. Good morning, everybody. My name is Andrea Martinez. I am Slovenian ambassador to Israel. I've been in Israel since 2019, so I had a very good opportunity to acquaint myself and get familiar with the Israeli ecosystem. And this program that we're doing, Slovenia and Israel Accelerator, is part of the priorities of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in economic diplomacy, and particularly internationalization of companies, Slovenian companies abroad. The aim of this accelerator, like already Tomislav said before, is basically to connect to Israeli ecosystem and to be able to meet a lot of people who are leaders of the industry. It will be an opportunity to learn about the latest trends of the industry and to network with people who will be able to advise you, to mentor you, and to help you actually bring the company to another level. It's a program that is now the second one. Last year we had one that was running from February to April. It was about 8 weeks. This one is much shorter. It will be just for 1 week, and it will be a great opportunity to get to know Israel and be able to actually work to prepare actually and take good advantage for the actually global expansion. Israel is known as a leader in innovation. It's a very strong innovation system and a good jumping point to expand to any other market that you would that you can possibly think of achieving. So I'm very excited about this opportunity, and if you have any questions or any issues that you might have about Israel also, you can always talk to me or to Mir. You will, if you decide to participate, if you are accepted, you will learn that Israelis know Slovenia very well, and that they are very enthusiastic about cooperation with Slovenian companies, with Slovenia in general, and that is why I think this program is something that is very, very, very good opportunity. Thank you, Michael.
Thank you so much, Andrea. It's always amazing to hear from your eyes after experiencing Israel for such a substantial time, how you see the collaboration between our nations. And I wholeheartedly agree. We want to work with Slovenian startups. We want to work with the Slovenian ecosystem. So the program will take place between the 12th to the 15th of this June. And the primary goal is to connect to the Israeli tech ecosystem, investors, clients, and partners. We're seeking companies that are from seed to A stages, but we are more than willing to examine companies from an earlier stage and a later stage, because for us, what's most important is that it's companies that are ready to go to international markets. You will be in Israel between the 12th and the 15th of June. Each and every day, as you can see in the agenda outline presented on screen, is a packed day from morning until night. Those of you who have been here in Podium, this conference, or in the past, know the deal room. It is very similar, only that you will have the ability to meet a wide variety of different industry leaders representing from Israel and some from abroad via Zoom. And by that, I will be moving to our dear panelists who joined us here today to share with you a little bit more in depth about the Israeli ecosystem. And first, say hello to Michal Seror. Michal, can you hear us?
Hi, Michael. Hi, all. Good morning, Her Excellency Martinez. Good morning from Israel, from Tel Aviv. Great to see you guys. As mentioned, I'm the Senior Director of Key Initiatives here at Startup Nation Central. Startup Nation Central is a nonprofit organization based in Tel Aviv. It was founded by the people that wrote the book Startup Nation in 2009, Dan Seror and Sol Singer. And after they wrote the book, they decided to do an active move and to do something about this Startup Nation and maintaining it and making sure that this great work that's been happening here continues as we go along. It was established in 2013 and has now become the leading hub for Israel's tech innovation ecosystem. And whoever comes through will see delegations coming from nationwide, everywhere around the world, and also a lot of activities for the local Israeli ecosystem. Israel is considered to be a leading global innovation ecosystem. So in 2022, Israeli startups raised over $16 billion, which was the second highest year after 2021. We have 17 new unicorns just in 2022, and there's about 5 unicorns for every 1 million people in the country. So this is all private technology companies and that have joined the $1 billion club in their evaluation. So a good place to learn about how to drive a company into that phase. Just looking at kind of the numbers, Israeli equity investment per year, the continuation of the investment, the growth, the rising of it, which kind of has a similar graph, obviously not the same numbers, but definitely keeping up with the levels of investments that we see in Silicon Valley. So if you all would like to just grab your phones and you can scan the QR code, or you can just go to Google and type in Startup Nation Finder. This is our completely free, 100% free to use platform. And what you can find in it is access and look at anything that we have here in the Israeli ecosystem. So you can look at the startups. You can obviously look at the investors, all our hubs, the multinationals, and also a few reports. You can actually keep a tab on what is happening here and all the shifts and changes that are going on.
I want to say huge thanks to Michal. I've been working with Michal for many years, And a great ecosystem is when one person helps the other and opens doors.
So Michal, we highly appreciate you dedicating the time and coming here and presenting Startup Nation Central. And now I see that Matan has joined us. So Matan Boni, the business creation manager at EIT Hub Israel, has joined us here today to share with you all about many different activities that the EIT is doing and about the connection between Europe and Israel.
Thank you very much. And hello, everyone, Madam Ambassador, the wonderful team of the Arieli Capital. Michal has gave you the gift of the Startup the Finder, which I highly recommend as well. And I hopefully can give you the gift of some valuable opportunities for you. The foundation starts with shared values. So EU and Israel, they share the value of democracy, of freedom of speech, of free economy. And, we in Israel, we have our internal debates, and it started way back in the foundation of the country. And it's kind of, if you will, it's in our DNA. And part of what really encourages innovation. And these shared values really lay the ground for the trade and economic relations. And for me, I think it really peaked in 2014, where Israel joined the Horizon 2020 program. And since then, Israel is the leading EU participant in Horizon 2020. We have over 1,000 Israeli companies who are now operating in Europe, over 25,000 European employees. And it's really a two-way road here. So in academia, obviously, there's a lot of cooperation in between universities. There's student exchange programs between Israel and Europe. Innovation hubs. We in EIT also work with companies, European, but not only, who want to open new innovation hubs in Israel. The number of European companies are growing every year. And you can see the leading companies. But 30% of the multinationals who are coming here are saying that they want to come to Israel for the entrepreneurial spirit. But there's also some challenges that we need to recognize as well, like the lack of awareness and the information gap. There are perceptions. Israelis think that the EU is a very conservative market and it's really hard to access. And people think as Israel, as Michal mentioned before, as a geopolitical island. And the lack of connectors, which is something that we in EIT and also these kinds of programs come to really tackle this challenge. And what this program will also help to do is have more connectors in Europe. There's a big competition from the US, from the Asian markets, but there are also trends and a lot of opportunities that we see now in Europe. And obviously the FOMO, see more and more Israeli companies starting a shop in Europe, seizing the opportunities that we have also with the large EU funding. So EIT is largest innovation network in Europe. We have over 3,200 partners across Europe, what we call the triangle of knowledge. We have over 70 innovation hubs across Europe and a hub here in Israel and a twin hub in the Silicon Valley. We operate through our KICS. KICS is a knowledge and innovation community. And each KIC specializes in a different sector. We are a small team here in Israel, small but very fierce, female-led, as you can see, which is wonderful. And we're doing a lot of great things. And luckily, we are backed by EIT and 70 hubs across Europe that enable us really to do this job. And we operate here in Israel through 3 pillars of activity. education, innovation, and business creation. And thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Matan.
Again, thank you so much for dedicating the time and from all of us here at the panel and partners. So our next panelist is Nir Volstein, the economic advisor to the Embassy of Slovenia in Tel Aviv.
All right, Nir, welcome.
Hello, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm working with Andrea, the Slovenian ambassador in Israel. I'm her economical advisor and innovation advisor for the Slovenian embassy in Israel. But beside that, I'm a tech entrepreneur myself. I co-founded 2 companies. Basically, what I'm doing in the past years is just helping companies at their early beginnings, usually. And what I'm going to tell you now is basically not just my story. I'm going to share with you all of my knowledge, what I learned about how to raise money. I can tell you that from my experience, especially if we're talking about early stage companies, it's always good to start with the team. Investors, especially if we're talking about early stage companies, are investing in the team. They know that the company is going to change, the product is going to change, maybe even the problem you want to solve is going to change. But the team is one thing that probably will stay there. Now, the second step is actually you want to give a snapshot of the market, of like what kind of industry you are. But most importantly, you want to explain them why now it's the right time. COVID-19 can be a good example why now we can solve this problem. You want to really explain to the audience, to the investors, that this is the perfect timing to start your company or to invest in this company. And after we talk about the team and why now, and about a bit about what you're going to do, we're going to talk about the problem. My 2 cents for that is you need to ask yourself if people in the end willing to pay money for this solution, and if it's solving a pain that is big enough for them to actually pay for that. When you identify a real problem, then the entire pitch is going smooth. And now we're going to talk about the solution, and the solution is very straightforward. Usually, you always need to make a very straightforward solution. And when we're talking about the solution, you need to remember that the solution statement needs to be something very easy to understand. The best practice to do it actually is to talk about what is the value proposition. Another insight that I can share with you and tell you again from my experience is that when we're talking about business model and revenue stream, and you want to show some projection for investors, you always need to walk a fine line between being conservative with the numbers or to aiming too high. My best practice to how to actually address this issue is actually to look about other companies, to ask different entrepreneurs that they're doing something similar to me, to ask what they did and what they show. The most important thing is to remember that it can't be too big, because then the investor will not believe you. But it can't be also too small that the investor, in the end of the day, probably won't invest in you if it's too small. Let's go to the value. We need to remember that in the end of the day, investors are investing their money in companies to see a return. The best practice is actually to ask yourself, why would another company want to buy us in the future? But the investor wants to get a hint if this is something that he also believed in that, and if there is a real potential in that. And now we're talking about one of the really important questions. What you want to do is you want to be very honest and tell exactly what you need to achieve really good results. The question is not how much people are willing to give you. You always need to ask yourself, what is the right amount of money you need to get to the next step? You must think big. It has to be concrete. You have to show that it's possible. You always need to remember that you want to save time for questions. When you're saving time for questions, you're giving the opportunity and you're giving the stage for the investor to actually interact with you. They want to test you, how you're going to react for, let's call it more less comfortable environment, and they want to take you out of your comfort zone. You need to also prepare for the Q&A. my rule is never to give an answer that you don't know the answer for it. Answer them politely that you don't know. You need to check that. You're going to get back to them and then give them the full and the right answer for this specific question. You need to remember that the Q&A is not just for the investor to ask you. This is also the opportunity for the entrepreneur to ask the investors questions. You want to know that this is the right people to work with.
Nir, first of all, thank you so much for dedicating the time. And second of all, thank you so much for joining us here today and sharing your entrepreneurial journey.
Thank you for the embassy and Andrea, and thank you Or and all of the team of Arieli Capital. And let's continue to do something great.
Last words from me. I want to thank our amazing partners, the Slovenian Entrepreneur Enterprise Fund, the Spirit Slovenia, the embassy and the amazing team, and the ambassador. Thank you for spearheading and leading this thing, and the Slovene Ministry of Economy, and I think that obviously the amazing team of Arieli Capital that made this entire operation a reality. Sign up to the program. It's an opportunity you cannot afford to lose. We would appreciate it. Please forward this note out. Please share it with your community. If it's not relevant for you, there is somebody in your ecosystem that didn't hear about it for some reason. Make sure they hear about it. Make sure they understand that there is a great opportunity for Slovenian startups. And let's get this ecosystem up.
And with that, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for staying with us until the end. We hope that you will have gained some insights about the Israeli ecosystem, about the entrepreneurship mindset, and of course, about our upcoming Accelerator Scale-Up program that will take place right around the corner. Next week, as I said, we will be moving to the selection committees. So don't wait, apply now. Potentially you will be invited and we would love to see you again. No strings attached for applying. And I think that by that.
Yeah, and our beautiful speakers and amazing speakers, thank you for all the knowledge and sharing and help that you provided and that you're going to provide. Really appreciate your time. To the listeners, audience, everybody, thanks for coming in, and thanks for being on the productive and innovative side of humanity that is pushing and wants to create a better tomorrow.
Ciao. Bye-bye.
Bye.